The girl came to the convenience store at midnight and bought 3 boxes of condoms. On her way back, she ran into her high school classmate. The man had secretly admired her since high school. To his surprise, she had become even more beautiful after all these years. The girl also recognized him as a high school heartthrob. In just 3 years, he had become the president of the Billionaire Food Group. The president noticed that the girl seemed interested in him. He provocatively asked her to give him a box of condoms. Then, as a way of thanking her, he offered to drive her home. When he found out she was delivering condoms to a rich second-generation heir at a hotel, he mistakenly thought she was the heir's mistress and felt somewhat disappointed. However, he still handed her a business card, inviting her to come work for Food Group at any time. It turned out that the girl had worked as a nanny at the rich heir's family to repay a debt. Her job was to act as the heir's secretary, reporting to the heir's mother every day. This made the heir loathe her. After delivering the condoms to the room, the girl quickly left, but she saw the president waiting for her at the door. He first teased her about the heir's short stamina, then jokingly suggested they should have sex. The girl was so startled that she immediately refused. However, the president said he would wait for her to agree. The next day, the girl came to the office to notify the heir about a meeting, interrupting the heir's intimate moment with his lover. The heir angrily yelled at her, saying that her entire family had worked as nannies in his household for 3 generations. Hearing the heir insult even her grandmother, the girl couldn't tolerate it and decided to resign from her position as secretary. She packed her things and said goodbye to her colleagues. Suddenly, she received a call from the doctor. At the hospital, she learned that her grandmother's condition was critical, but the surgery would cost $500,000. Her stepmother and stepsister refused to pay for the treatment. Her grandmother didn't want to burden her, but the girl promised to find a way to raise the money. Looking at the president's business card in her hand, she went to Food Group to ask him for help. Then, she took off her coat to reveal her seductive figure, asking the president if he was still willing to have a relationship with her. The president knew she had just resigned from her job at the company, so he pulled her into his arms and asked how much money she wanted as compensation. The girl said she wanted $5 million. Then the president took her to his villa. The maids had never seen the president bring a woman home, and they assumed the girl was just his sexual partner. After a night of passion, the president was surprised to find that the girl was still a virgin. That's when he realized there was no relationship between her and the heir. So, he handed her a check for $10 million, and invited her to come work as his secretary at Food Group. Since the girl had asked for $5 million more, she had no choice but to accept the president's arrangement. She returned to the heir's family to quit her nanny job. The heir, furious, threatened that she still owed him $5 million. The girl immediately placed a check on the table, then left without looking back. The heir thought she would come crawling back soon to ask for their help with her grandmother. Little did he know, the girl had already paid for her grandmother's surgery, and she would be working as the president's secretary from now on. One day, the president asked the girl to accompany him to a wedding. She looked stunning in her gown, and the president couldn't take his eyes off her. They arrived at the wedding venue. The president had to leave briefly for something. At that moment, the heir's mistress saw the girl and immediately mocked her for being abandoned by the heir. She accused the girl of having no right to be in such a high-class place. She then had the security guard throw the girl out. When the heir saw how beautiful the girl looked, he said that if she kneeled and apologized to him, he would allow her to return to her job as a nanny.